Yeah, it's a little nerve-wracking, I must admit, going into thinking about it now. Um, it's just, it's a little bit apprehensive. But at the same time, I believe that when the time comes, I'll deal with it effectively. Along the way, I think training's going well so far. You can never really read too much into training. I mean, from what I see, we're getting the work done, which is the most important thing for this time of year. And hopefully when I open up, we'll have a better idea as to where I am and how much more I need to improve and what I need to work on. I was very relieved. I knew that I knew that going into World Championships I had a really rough time getting there, but I honestly believe that I put the work in. I believe that I was one of the stronger athletes, even though I didn't really have much to prove. But I knew that I'd done enough work. I knew I was really in a really strong position. So it was unexpected, but at the same time, it is what I expected, is what I wanted for myself, and it was for me just being able to have that self-belief, put the work in, and get that result was just something that for me was like, I told you could do it. Proved me right. It wasn't about proving anything to anyone else. It was about me, because I had nothing else to fall back on, just my training. And I believed in myself so much that I had to go out and perform. And so it was just telling myself that you believed you can do it, and you did do it. Yeah, it was a great team, and I think it was just great for all the athletes to be part of a winning team. And we were a winning team. We all went out there and we all worked. Prior to the games, everyone worked really hard. We all went out there in our own kind of individual self-belief that we could all do very well, and we did. And it was just nice to be part of the team, and it's nice to be come home and be swept up in that euphoria and excitement, and just to have raised so many people's spirits over that summer. I think that no matter what race you run, people are always going to say stuff. They're always going to put you up there, or they'll tell you you're not running very well, or you're not going to do very well. But for me, I've learned to ignore external factors. I learned to just concentrate on myself. Yeah, I know I work very hard, and I know that if I go out and I'm in a good shape, and got my head screwed on, and I can do whatever I want to do on the track. It's not really something that I don't allow my performances and my feelings and how I think of a race to be dictated by what other people expect of me, because I know that the only expectation I allow is what I expect from myself. No, you have an idea of what you're going to do. You have instinctively an idea what you need to do in a race. Like you have my coach and I mark out different sections, and you have the first 50, the first 100, 150. You have the 250 coming off the bend, and so you have what you should do at each point. But what I'm trying to say that just say you're really nervous on the start line, and the first 50 is not as dynamic as it should have been, which means you're a bit down, and maybe the first 200 is not as, maybe you ran a bit faster to the first two. It's like, what do you do coming off the 200? But it's just stuff like that, and you have to be able to adapt quickly, and rather than say, oh, I've messed it up and the race is going to go rubbish and I'm going to do really badly. Not really. I think I just say like maybe just a couple of prayers, and then just leave it. Mind goes blank. I leave everything. I believe that instinctively I know what to do. So there's no point. At that point, you can't plan anything. You can't remind yourself of anything, because if at that point you don't know what to do, then you haven't prepared very well. Do you know what I do? I think I always have the first 50 metres, because that's when everyone goes crazy. They kind of, I've not actually seen it happen. I've never seen it happen when I'm in a stand, but when I've raced a couple of times at major championship, once you set off, like once the gun goes and everyone sets off, I head in for the first 50 metres, and they seem to get really excited, and then it just dies down and I don't hear anything else after that. I think everyone is born with a certain amount of talent in whatever field, and I think that I've been able to work out what that was. I worked out from a young age that I had, a strong affinity to sport, and so for me, and I enjoyed it. So for me, I continued that link with sport, and Yeah, I think I just worked on what my skill was, which was to run and play netball, and it's something that throughout the years I've just tried to improve it and make it better for me. Yeah, I believe so. I think it's talent and a lot of dedication and um, a lot of discipline, which are things that we don't really. Sometimes people can forget. People just think, oh, you have to be talented and that's just it. But it's not. You really have to work and work and work and work on it to make. Otherwise, it's not gonna get. Talent can only get you so far. It's very important. I think it's probably the most important thing. The coach for us is a person who will arrange our programs for us and but structure a personalised program that will be different from other competitors, say my level, different to competitors at an international level, different to competitors at just a league level. Everything has to be different because they all have different body shapes, different weaknesses, different strengths, and the program has to cater for that. And the coach is also the one who will build you up, get you to your maximum effort of work. The person who will understand you when you're completely broken and you need to rest and sleep. So he's very important because she is a person that's going to hopefully guide you successfully for your career. I do get on with him, and there's not really been a point where I hate him because I know that what he's doing is doing that. So I run my best. If I don't run my best, then um, it comes down to him as well, and we both take kind of joint responsibility to how I perform. Oh yeah, there might be times where sessions are really hard, and he just stands there with a stopwatch, and you think you have no idea of the pain I'm going through. But it's not hate. It's just at the moment in time, it's hard work, and you might get a little bit angry. But you can't hate the person you spend all your time with.